Hello there. This is an excerpt from Last Call with John Hobbs by Justin Raza, published by Amazon in October 2018. Prelude. A bullet whizzed by the brim of my fedora on the left side, obviously catching my attention. The next two fired at me were no less informative. I threw myself to the ground behind some crates and reached inside my coat for my own hand cannon to offer my own response, the trail of bullets still ringing in my ears. Only about half the crates had been offloaded from the truck before somebody decided to start this firefight, luckily enough for me. A row of about 12 or 15 boxes stacked 3 or 4 high were plenty for me to hide behind. I poked an eye through one of the slits between crate stacks to see if I had a clear shot at whomever was trying to kill me. I didn't. I shot blindly into the dark anyway, to give them something to think about. It appeared they didn't have to think very long, because I was immediately answered by a rain shower from a Tommy gun. To all the avail of a safety blanket hiding you from the boogeyman, I pulled my jacket up as close to my face as possible and tugged my fedora lower over my ears. As the automatic machine gun still whirred, I thought of death, my own specifically. I'd always thought that death would be cold, but I was hot, fire hot, and wet. That would be the blood. I was now lying in a pool of it. Strangely too, though, I wasn't hurt. That's when I heard the soothing sound of running liquid and realized I hadn't been shot at all. Slow as a turtle, I raised my head from under my hat to see the cause of the flowing rinse. The bullets from the Tommy gun had bored into the crates and broken some of the bottles inside. Great. Now they were leaking all over me. I took the opportunity to reach up and break one of the boards of a crate that some bullets had already shattered and started for me. I pulled out the nearest unbroken bottle. Removing the cap, I had 2 thoughts. 1. I am going to take a healthy swig of this whiskey. Cheap whiskey, at that. And if cheap whiskey is going to be the last thing I drink before I die, I am going to be pest. And 2, whiskey is flammable. This time, not firing blindly, I put a bullet into one of the tires of the bootleg milk truck, ensuring that it wouldn't go anywhere. My only thought as I emptied the rest of my hand cannon into the gas tank of the truck, using it as a igniter for the whiskey to make the entire jalopy burst up into flames, was, how the hell did I get here? Chapter 1, The Long Goodbye. I was a cop. Right up until 11:59 and 11:59 seconds on January 16th, 1920, when the Volstead Act took effect, ushering in Prohibition. I didn't make that law, and I don't believe in it. Nor was I consulted when it passed motion, or my vote would have been splashing whiskey into the faces of every member of the Congressional Board. At 5 minutes to midnight, I poured myself a generous tumbler of rye. Taking a gulp, I stared down at my contorted reflection in the brown, swirling liquid as I set the glass down on the bar a little too hard. With a heavy sigh, I dropped a sugar cube into the flute. With a medicine dropper, I gave the tube a light squeeze and dropped 3 dashes of bitters onto the grainy white cube, staining it. I then poured champagne on top, completing the cocktail that everyone else in the room was imbibing to usher in this new era of forced sobriety. I then made another for Betty, my buxom and dark-haired cocktail waitress. At exactly midnight, after a loud and boisterous 10-second countdown, as if it were New Year's Eve, Betty and I clinked glasses. She downed half of a glass of her bubbles in one sip. I purposely emptied mine on the floor, my private act of defiance for what I thought of this prohibition of alcohol in this grand country of ours, and then I went back to my brown water. I was a cop. Now I'm a bartender. In literally 1 second, I flipped from one side of the law to the other. Betty finished her champagne cocktail and blew me a cherry red and breathless kiss, and then disappeared among the masses of the underground club to see if there were anything that her patrons needed for the continuance of their merriment. 15 minutes ago, I had called last call for the final legal time in American history. But something told me now, as I stared through my glass out onto the massive crowd of revelers in the room, that I would be actually serving last call tonight until sometime tomorrow. I was a cop. Now I'm a bartender. My name is John Hobbs. Salud. For the whole story, Visit Amazon.com and get your copy of Last Call with John Hobbs, available in paperback and in a Kindle edition. Enjoy the book. Salud.